welcome back to the Boakyewaa Glover Show, where we talk about life, health, and relationships. I'm grateful to the Graphic Communications Group for giving us the space to film this season. I'm so excited about that. In today's standout episode, I'm joined by the iconic Anita Erskine, a powerhouse in African media, an advocate for women's leadership, and a woman whose voice has inspired millions across the continent, and someone that I think I can actually call a friend. And let me tell you why. So I hadn't seen Anita in years, and I reached out to her randomly, and I'm like, hey, I would love to catch up, share some things with you. And guess what? She came to me. I haven't even shared this with her, but I was just so stunned that she came to see me right away. I was so touched. She sat with me and we spoke candidly and openly. And let me tell you, in our media world, and especially in Ghana's celebrity circles, that kind of genuine, immediate connection is actually rare. Honestly, I'll never forget it. She doesn't know I held this in, but I'll never forget it. So today, I'm beyond excited and so grateful to have her here on the show. We're going to explore Anita's evolution as a woman, a leader, and a creator. We'll talk about identity, visibility, authenticity, power, and purpose, the real work behind her public image. Anita will also open about her health journey, sharing what transformation has meant for her, and the courage it takes to grow publicly. This isn't just an interview, it's a conversation and a masterclass in self-definition, vision, and womanhood. I'm so excited. I'm like, Fanny, Anita, welcome.
Boakyewaa, you are
Anita.
such a class act. I'm listening to this intro and I'm like, hey,
But
Sister
Anita,
Bean, yeah.
when you showed up, it touched me so much. Because someone would have been like, I'm so busy. Can you come to my office? Can you do this? But you came to me. You showed up. You sat in my sofa with me. And I tell you, like, I was so touched that day because I hadn't seen you in years. And I'm like, this woman is real. This woman is such... Why? Like, can you...
In a conversation I had, a few weeks ago, the young lady says, oh, ladies and gentlemen, let's applaud for the superwoman. So when I got on the stage, I said, you know something? Thanks for the intro, but I'm not a superwoman. And I know that made her feel a bit, I said, but let me explain. I'm not a superwoman because every single time I'm breaking down or I need help or I need reinforcement or I need support, there are people I call. I don't do it by myself. And those people put everything aside and show up. If it's not on a call because maybe they've traveled, it is, come home, let's sit and have chicken and talk, let's cry together, money you need, let's meet at the bank. I have a support system.
Yeah.
And I've always said, Father God, as you have blessed me with people who care enough about me, that when I say A, they say B, C, D, let me do the same for others. Otherwise, you are borderline ungrateful.
Yeah.
And otherwise you're not checking your privilege. And so to have people I can rely on is a privilege that I want to extend to others. So, and plus I haven't seen you in years. And anytime we chatted, even on Facebook, I said, when is the next book? So honestly, Boakyewaa, I thought I was going to come and get the first
the next book.
the next book.
But, you are consistent though, because I know in your messages, whether it's online or in person, you keep talking about support. Has this always been your story where you've leaned on others and you've had others close to you? Because it felt so, I really don't have the words, where you're like, if anything, Boakyewaa, call me. And the fact that you came to me, sis, it's...
I'm the last of 8 children.
Okay.
In a very close-knit family. So automatically, I can call any of my siblings at any time, advice, support, whatever it is, and they answer. If I call you as my sibling and you don't answer, wow, you must be probably going through something that none of us knows about. That warmth, that reliance, that dependence on someone is God's gift.
Yeah.
I may not necessarily have had the same socially, but it's okay. Yeah. Because once I know whom I can rely on outside of social circles or whatever it is, Boakyewaa, I'm very, very, content. Now, there are times, and there have been times when I did call someone, when I did call people, though they answered, they were not transparent about the kind of help they could give.
Okay.
So if there's any moment of maturing into please be a person of your word, it would have been those moments when I was older, more mature, where failure feels like failure, when falling is breaking and cracking my kneecaps, that when I call people who said, oh, by all means, and didn't follow through, and I felt that certain degree of rejection, I always said, once I get out of this, may I not do same to others, because at least I know what it sounds like, what it tastes like, what it even smells like. And also, you have to understand, Boakyewaa, that in the kind of work that I've done, I've gone through different phases of relevance. Different phases of relevance. And
That's an interesting way to put it. Phases of relevance. Yeah.
Sometimes you're relevant, you're at the forefront.
Yes.
Sometimes you're not so relevant. So when you're relevant, you know who you can call. You know when you call, they pick on the first ring. When you take 2 steps back and they can't necessarily get anything from you, as my mother would say,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I also know what it feels like to only be taken care of by people who know that it's really transactional or who just want that affiliation. So in my maturity, learning how to balance all of it for me is no matter what, as long as I can call you a friend, a sister. In fact, I don't even need to know you, but as long as you're saying something that I believe, okay, even if I don't have the answer to it, there is something in my heart that says I can hold your hand and guide you to it. I'm your person.
So I don't want to belabor the point, but I'll say one quick thing before I move to the next question, which is even today, Anita is actually traveling. She's traveling in like 3 hours, and yet she's here.
No, let's be honest. Because I have counseled on you a couple of times.
Still though, like you've tried.
Yeah,
I truly appreciate that so much, because I don't get that. The reason I'm calling it out is, Anita, it is rare. Like, I'm trying to be real with you.
Yeah.
It's rare because of who you are and where you are.
Amen.
Who you are and where you are, and for you to come through, it is rare. And I believe also in the spirit of feedback. And I believe in the spirit of sharing, because sometimes I feel like we don't give people positive feedback. Right. When something doesn't go well, that's when we sort of mention, but when someone's doing something good, we don't tend to tell people that, oh, you did a good thing or you helped me. So I'm not trying to like stretch it, but I want people to know their impact as well. And I appreciate so much that you are here.
Thank you.
And I appreciate so much you taking time.
And if I can just, I know it's not part of your whatever, but because we have all sorts of people watching this wonderful show you've created, and you've mentioned this, I also want to say that you need to build the kind of character that people can trust, not only in this work, generally in life, you know. So I think be a person of your word, but also use your own pain to influence and inform how you hold somebody up.
Yep.
You know, and I think that is what it is. Yes. You know, it is, what is it? You know, it's not about, oh yeah, it's a show. No, but I think it's deeper than that.
Yes.
You know, and it's your feedback is good for me, because there are times when I'm too tired. You know, times when I really don't want to answer this WhatsApp message. And so you've reminded me what I always remind myself. Say, what if it were you?
Yeah. And you needed someone.
Thank you.
Thank you too. So you said something about pain, and it reminds me of a question that I was in the hot seat and Mr. El Ankara was grilling me on the show.
Oh,
and
I have secrets about him.
Oh, okay. Then after the show, we should talk.
No, I think we should talk about it on the show.
So El keeps asking me, why do I share? But I want to throw that to you because, I mean, I follow your social media and you're one of the most open people. And you even before the show, I asked you, what is off limits? And you said, nothing is off limits. You're a very open person. There was one episode, or let me call it episode, like on your Instagram, where you shared, I think that has over thousands of views because it was such a candid thing. You talked about being low and those types of things. What makes you open up in such a vulnerable and authentic way? I mean, in that one, you didn't even have makeup. You were sitting in your car. You were talking openly. You were sharing how there can be struggles. And a lot of people on social media present a very curated image. And I use the word curated, and it's all glitz and glam. You don't do that. Why do you share both the glam? Because you have some glam pictures, but you also share those uplifting, letting people know that there's real struggles.
Because that's real life though, Boakyewaa. Yeah. It's like, it's too much pressure to pretend I woke up like this. No, I did not. Yes. And it's too much pressure to pretend that every day you have solutions. For what? You know what I mean? And yes, it's true. Maybe because I'm older and more mature, I feel I don't have anyone to please. And I'm sure if I were young, well, when we were younger, we didn't used to talk like this, by the way.
Yeah.
So I get it. It also has to do with where I am in life, etc. You know, my maturity and my comfort, being comfortable with who I am. At 4 p.m., I get a call saying, have you heard from X, Y, and Z? But I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Or sometimes literally, I could have been having a conversation with that person maybe on Monday, and they're losing their mind and they don't know what to do, and we're having a private conversation. By Tuesday, they are on social media showing their high life, and I'm thinking, wait,
yeah.
But I won't judge you because that is your choice. I, however, fear for the people who are looking at you and thinking that this is how you woke up. If I'm going to be a voice, any voice of change, self-acclaimed. Nobody gave me the honor. Nobody gave me the role.
Yes.
But if I am who I say I am, then let me lead by example.
Yeah.
Let me take that responsibility. Because Boakyewaa, the reality is I can't tell you to do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Nor can I say, no, Boakyewaa, don't show them this black dress. Charlie, show them the other side. You know, that day, the tears, the snot. I can't do that. So I can't tell you what to do. So I will do what I can do. And it's always important for me to help people understand that there are two sides to the coin. So when you feel you are losing it, it's natural. We all lose it at a point. But when you also think you're winning, it's also natural. We all win at a point. We all have dual narratives. And it's okay to show the two sides. The joke of the day is, and again, maturity, time, experience only teaches us this.
Yeah.
That person who is judging you, and who is probably commenting and saying things that are so horrible to you, is probably worse off than you are. Mm-hmm. And it is their anger and frustration that is making them say whatever they're saying to you. So don't worry, we all have a dual narrative.
Yes. And I wish I spoke to you before the episode, because I like the way you phrase it as a dual narrative.
Absolutely.
So someone on my social media made a comment that, recently I feel like your social media has become a bit too pessimistic, and what happened to all the pictures of the travel and this and that. Wow. I'm like, so I spent so many years on social media showing something. Now that I've flipped the narrative, it's confusing, but I now want to be more authentic, because that narrative, and I mentioned it when I was in the hot seats, that it's not real. This is real. Me being open to say the struggle, and it's that the foundation of my mental health advocacy to say that struggle doesn't look just a certain way. It can look like you, it can look like me, and that's all we're trying to show. You said it perfectly.
Can I just add to that?
Please do.
You see this advocacy, this journey, this thing you're on?
Yes.
You know how I see it? I see it as life's biggest honor.
Wow.
To serve a collective whose voices will never be heard.
Yeah.
People need to understand that. And you use the word when you were introducing me. Evolution doesn't always look like elevation.
Yeah.
Evolution isn't always, look at me now, I'm now the CEO. No. Evolution sometimes is, I used to be the CEO. I went through whatever it is. Now I am an X, Y, and Z. It's not as flamboyant, but I'm going to use my life, literally, sacrifice my life, my privacy, to show you what you can do that I wish somebody had said to me when I was posting pictures of me flying all over the world.
Yeah. Anita, can I say something, by the way? You have such a way with words, huh? Has anybody ever told you that?
Did you bring any of your books here?
Well, my books are here.
Because I read a lot.
Yo, you do read a lot.
Because it's in the books. It's the books.
No, Anita, you have a way with words.
It is the books.
You talk like it's like, in your head scripts are like, girl, like when you said the unspoken collector or something, I was like, girl.
It is from the books.
You have a way with words, so.
I'm sure if you go through one of your novels, it's there. I got it from your books. But
people need to read.
The power of reading.
The power of reading.
It takes your mind to places. It puts words in your head. It allows you to flow in a certain way that you can't get anywhere else.
You're strong. I love that. I love that. You speak so well, man.
Thank you,
I love it. Okay, so I want to break the conversation down into a number of pieces. Okay, so we'll discuss, just because that's sort of like the themes of the show, a little bit about mental health, a little bit about physical health, and then your career, profession, and all of that. I want to start with mental health. Okay, how is your mental health? How are you doing?
Stronger every day.
Okay. Do you want to share anything to share how,
Stronger every day, because let me please with your blessing. I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, none of that, disclaimer. Mental health isn't only forgive me, I need to go to the psychiatric hospital.
100%.
Please, that's for that one. I think people need to understand. Mental health is anything that affects your mind. The state of your mind, the state of what you think of yourself.
Exactly.
And how it then seeps right into the entire body, and how it either makes you or breaks you. And I say my mental health is stronger every day because every day I learn to navigate how I'm feeling. So this morning, Boakyewaa says, Anita, you need to be there at 11 o'clock. I've got a flight in, however so many hours. At 10 o'clock, I know I need to get something done. If by 9:45, that thing that I was supposed to get done at 10 isn't done, and I start to feel the sense of anxiety, because that anxiety also, it has layers.
Yep.
It starts with, hey, it's only 50, I have 50 minutes. And then, hey, how am I going to make it to, Graphic Road and back? So then it builds up. But today, 9:45 hits. I know I haven't accomplished what I needed to accomplish by 10, but because I know the sense of anxiety and what the end product looks like, the strength of my mental health allows me to send Boakyewaa a message to say, Boakyewaa, you know something? Transparently, I don't think I can make it there by 11. The moment that transparency comes out of my mouth, the moment that honesty, whether you like to hear it or not, comes from me, it then starts to just water down the anxiety.
How did you get there, though? How did you get there in working through, okay, this is what I need to do in order to water down my anxiety or to get stronger every day? Is it through the reading you mentioned, or did you do something like classes, therapy? How did you get your mental health to be stronger and better?
I think I just had become so accustomed to what I don't like to smell. I don't like the smell of weakness. Not feel. I don't like the smell of weakness. I don't like the feeling of falling apart.
Yeah.
I don't like that thing where you don't know where to go, you don't know who to call, you don't know what to do. And the more times I felt that, the more times I said, well, Anita, you've got to figure out how to navigate this sense. So it's in boxes.
Okay.
So like I said, I've given you the one about timing.
Yeah.
And if I know that timing, and I try to be a very punctual person, the daughter of an army officer, that. So if I'm unable to meet a certain deadline, and I feel that anxiety, now I know what it feels like. It starts from the bottom of my spine, it works all the way up. So by the time it gets to halfway my back, I know that I need to find a way, and that way is through being honest with the other person. They may not like what they hear, like I said, but the fact that I've communicated automatically then allows me to, whatever. Let's talk about, money as an example. I've got a big bill coming up. I have a bill to pay, whatever it is. I don't know where the money is coming from. Again, I communicate and I say, listen, I'm going to tell you what you don't want to hear. But you see, I don't want to wait till Tuesday when I've said you'll get paid on Wednesday, because then it'll throw things off. So the money is not coming on Wednesday. Your response, again, whether you're angry or happy, whatever it is, again, it allows me to, you know what I mean? So there is a root cause for every single thing that I feel. And time, failure, pain, confusion have all taught me what these sentiments, these feelings, these states of mind look like, feel like, smell like. And because I don't like them, I have navigated them using the power of communication. Boakyewaa, if you can communicate, it's the beginning of solving your problem.
But I think there's a theme that I don't want people to miss. You also have strong self-awareness.
Right.
Because you keep mentioning that I don't like this, or I do this, or I feel this. And I feel like a lot of people do not know themselves well enough.
Perfectly said.
They don't know how they react to things. They don't know what works for them. There are boundaries, this area. Even realizing that this is something that can be triggering for me. I don't like the smell of failure or this. People don't know themselves. And without knowing yourself, you cannot work on those solutions.
You are so powerfully correct
Yeah.
and powerfully right. I think that time, help, your community, your environment will teach you a few things about yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's true. Let me not, what's the word? Let me not minimize the how by saying, well, I just communicate. Let me actually amplify the how with, I know myself.
Exactly.
So I know when it's a good time, when it's a bad time. I know when I'm getting anxious. I know when I'm getting, when I'm becoming afraid, on and on and on. And that helps me then, hopefully, to navigate. Also, Boakyewaa, the power of courage. So you know yourself, but you need to have a certain degree and amount of courage to implement.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can't do it on your own.
Yeah.
Most times, you cannot do it on your own.
And the courage to implement also means the courage to be uncomfortable.
Very. As you have done so many times, my dear sister. Yes.
The courage is to be uncomfortable, to do things that just feel scary and all of that. But that is how you learn.
Yes.
That is how you figure yourself out. Let me ask you, so you did mention that, yes, mental health isn't just about going to a psychiatric hospital. It's not just about neurosis and psychosis. I'm sitting here with you and I have my own mental health struggles, but I'm not institutionalized, right? Have you ever been to see a therapist? Have you ever had counseling, anything of the sort?
No.
No? Wow.
And it's not a no as in, I don't need it. No, it's a no because I find that, again, I go back to my family.
The reason I ask is when I also shared with you, you were so empathetic in a way that felt almost like you've had an experience talking to someone in a certain setting. And so you responded almost like you know how to connect or relate to someone who's going through something. I know I'm kind of heaping, but you I hadn't seen you in years. And here in our very first interaction, I'm sharing that, hey, I've been diagnosed with this thing. And you didn't, you leaned in.
Yeah.
So it surprised me. I've always been meaning to ask you, but I know it's a sensitive question.
No, I can answer.
Yeah, how come?
Does the problem matter?
Okay.
Or isn't it? No. Does the kind of problem, is it the kind of problem that defines the kind of support you give to somebody? Or that there is a problem?
I love that.
You know what I mean? Because if you are a friend, a human being, who defines how you show up? Okay, if it's about money, but I'm not the person. Oh, it's psychosis, and it's not me. Boyfriend is not me. But I think that why we would define our relationship as friends. Okay, well, it's true. You didn't have to be a friend for me to show up because people, send me messages on LinkedIn or whatever it is, I still show up. But I think if you say you are who you are again, you may not have, Boakyewaa, I don't have the answers for you. But in that moment, I did know one thing. There was something you wanted to say. And I did know that I don't have the experience to say, then Boakyewaa, it means A, it means B, it means C.
Yeah.
The art of listening alone, I think humbly, was enough.
And a lot of people, when you share, they straight away want to solve, or they straight away want to tell you, go do this, but you didn't do that. That is why I thought you had been exposed to something, because you didn't say, go do this or that. You simply leaned in and offered comfort and support. And you said one of the most powerful things, and anybody listening or watching, truly, as someone who's going through something, Anita did something so powerful to say, anytime you want to talk to someone, call me.
Yeah.
So you didn't offer someone actually put on my page or responded that try and go out in the sunshine more.
Vitamin
I'm not
D.
joking.
Oh my God.
But you just said anytime you're really, really down, call me.
Because isn't that what you would want?
Yeah.
No, Boakyewaa, honestly, if you wanted us to be very transparent and honest with each other right now, in whatever state you may have found yourself, is there anything I could have said that would have immediately given you the solution? No.
Absolutely not.
Even if I had the
not.
right medication in front of me, Boakyewaa, even that medication, if I gave to you, you would need a day or two to get used to it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think no matter our situation, just somebody that we are sure is not judging us as we're speaking, because that's the other thing. I'm saying, you can read judgment from how the shoulder twitches, how the nose flares. You can read judgment from there, how the whatever.
Yep.
But I think that I've been around women particularly.
Yep.
And men long enough to understand that sometimes in between visits to your doctor, in between arguments with your better half, whatever it is, all you need is somebody who will not judge you and who is willing to listen.
Yeah.
Sometimes all you need to do is just to get it out and you're fine.
You did fantastic.
Thank you. Always. Thank
You did fantastic. Okay, now, so coming a little bit to your health journey, which I know you've been open about, but for those who maybe aren't familiar and are watching, can you tell us a little bit, what's the context, what's happening, and where are you now?
When I was younger, I was always heavy set. But you're young and, so you use that size to, you play shot put and everything, like you win some medals.
Yeah.
And then I realized, when I was 25, 26, I felt, I was very careful with my diet, very careful with exercise. And I had the best time. I was in the best shape of my life. I had my children, and even after my second and last Nesta in 2009, I still lost all the weight. So I was good. I have never been a big eater. Yes, I do have a sweet tooth, but of course, life, work, eating late, all of those kinds of things, started to pile on. So you know where the weight gain is coming from at the time. Until, yes, you tell yourself, I've got to stop this. So let me seek help. Let me go to the gym. Let me get a personal trainer. Let me get a dietitian. I started to realize that with all these wonderful tools, resources in check,
All the interventions,
nothing was happening. And and the lady who was working on my diet, I went into a weigh-in and whatever it is one day. She goes, "Are you sticking to the diet?" And I said, "Absolutely." Like you can ask anybody in my household. And me, I'm so focused.
Yeah.
I said, "Well, you've gained a bit of weight, as we can see. Do you want to have your doctor check you out?" This was in 2019, just before COVID. So in 2020, February, March, COVID, I was recording my show. COVID came, shut down, everything like that. But watch out, I started to feel heavy. Yeah. And it wasn't heavy as in, I know I've gained, but it was like heavy as if I'm carrying water.
Yeah.
Fortunately, unfortunately, I got a role playing on a soap opera where I needed to be who I was, because I was the mother to, so I almost kind of
let it go.
Because it worked. I would look older, I was bigger. Until by 2021, I had hit 270 pounds. And my heart started to say things I had never heard before. Yeah. I wasn't able to sleep. And I then knew I wasn't just heavy, I was unwell. Yeah. My wonderful doctor, Dr. Decker at Franklin, I had been to see her a few times and she's great. She said, "Oh, you know what, Anita, cut down on your sugar." What doctors should say. Yeah. But at the 272, 273, I went back to Dr. Decker after a night of palpitations. I thought I literally was having a heart attack. And that's when she started to break everything down. She was unhappy. She had, I was pre-diabetic. My thyroid was not functional. And we realized these had probably been the issues I had been facing all along. Wow. But you see, I'm a tall, strong woman. Yeah. I will stand for hours. Yeah. And I would be okay. My father had passed away from hypertension in 2021. So perhaps that's when I started to become a bit more fearful that, I don't know what's going on. So we talked about a few urgent interventions. And Dr. Decker kept saying, let's figure out how to normalize your thyroid. Just around that time, my good friend Boakyewaa Hammond, she had lost a lot of weight. And I knew Boakyewaa had been unwell. I said, Queen B, I call her Queen B, this is what I'm going through. And as a friend and a sister, we're talking about relying on someone. Yeah. I gave her a long, I sat with her and I told her everything. And she sat very quietly. And she said, listen, I had medical weight loss. I said, what is that? She talked me through the GLP-1s. She talked me through a vitamin infusion. She talked me through a strict exercise and diet. I mean, the whole ecosystem. And I said, then I'm ready. So I went to Estar Pharma, bless them, Dr. Abby and Nana Achamensa, women who, again, comes back down to this.
Women's support group.
When I went there, Boakyewaa, I'm a public figure. What that means is anybody and everybody who feels they have a voice can judge me.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
So I would walk into places and people would say, what's this? Literally. I don't know you, but hey, I guess you watched my show, so I should be grateful. You have agency. You can, what can I say? These women sat down with me and I gave them the story and they said, no problem. Let's just work with what your doctor is saying. Yeah. And Boakyewaa, that's the story. And I'm sticking with it. Wow. So I started medical weight loss in 2020. In 2024, I started with my thyroid hormone replacement around 2023. And then immediately the water just melted.
Wow.
Sadly, it was when I realized the older we are, the more help we need.
Yeah.
And that's the story.
Yeah.
And I've lost 100 pounds since.
Wow.
Yeah. And I am, again, you talked about me being transparent. A lot of people don't like to hide, don't like to share how they lose weight.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
It's their right. But Boakyewaa, if you've been through what I went through, I can't hide it.
Yeah.
If you've been through what I went through, God will be unhappy if I hide it.
Yeah.
That's the story.
Wow. And so where are you now in terms of your health markers? Are you doing better health-wise? Yeah.
Exercise doesn't feel like a chore.
Yeah. So you are exercise, because some people have this misconception that when people are on medical weight loss, they don't exercise.
And if you don't exercise, and if you don't eat right,
yes, it won't work.
Okay. So here's the thing. I'm not a doctor, so I can't say it won't work. But I will say for me, and that's why I call it a wellness journey.
Yes.
For me,
yes,
exercise and diet were 80% of the work.
Yeah.
And maybe the doctors will tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
The help I get to boost and move things along
exactly
is the intervention.
Yes.
But other than that, walking, eating right has now become my lifestyle. I pray I stick with it, Boakyewaa, because it's not always easy to walk past a kitchen when somebody's eating chocolate cake. But exercise and diet for me are 80% of the work.
And that's why when I was asking you the question, I said, tell us about your health journey.
Yeah.
Because it's a health and wellness journey and not necessarily a weight loss journey. No. Just 24 hours ago, I was sitting at a doctor's office, just like you and I sitting here, and the doctor looks at me point blank, we're talking 24 hours ago, and says to me, Boakyewaa, no matter what you do with your gym, with your diet, the weight will not come off.
Wow.
So she says to me, because of my very chronic and high inflammation, because of my antidepressants, because of the fact that I've entered menopause and it's affecting me differently. I'm also having seizures, Anita. I've been diagnosed with seizure disorder. And then she added there was a fifth thing, it's not going to come off. So, and she literally said, so you need to go on GLP-1s 24 hours ago. 24 hours ago. And she just said it won't work. She said naturally, trying to do this naturally is not going to work. So I need to write a prescription for you. And I'm like, I work out. I did an 80 kg deadlift. I did this. She's like, some people are built different. And the way your health markers are, if we don't do this intervention, it will get worse. And there's no shame in, it has to be a natural health. This is health and wellness. And I'm giving you a tool. And since you already work out, since you already eat clean, This is the language you use, an additional boost. This is 24 hours
This
ago,
is a
Anita.
compliment. Boakyewaa, I have to say, first of all, I'm sorry you have to go through this.
Yeah.
There's no joy in this.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that people need to understand.
Yeah.
There's no,
Yeah.
it's so
It's not like it's a shortcut.
difficult.
Yes. Yes.
But one, I'm happy we have the information that we have from our different doctors. I mean, I can only speak of Franklin Medical, a Star Pharma, and forgive me for using this platform to say that, but Boakyewaa,
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't, and you know, they're all run by women.
Yes. Well, the
These
doctor I saw yesterday too was a woman.
And the care,
Yeah.
you know, and it wasn't about shortcuts, no, the care I received. And that's why I keep talking about these doctors who didn't just look at a big woman. They looked at a beautiful woman
Yeah.
with a broken state.
Yeah.
And they committed to putting me together.
Yeah.
I could never have done it on my own. Gym or exercise, I eat.
Yeah.
Ask anybody in my household. Boakyewaa. Grilled tilapia. No oil.
Yes.
What don't
Yes.
I do?
Yes.
Ask my household. I'm not.
Anita.
No
Yesterday,
bread,
my mother
no
came
pasta,
to visit.
no rice.
I don't. And she wanted sweet potatoes, and she said, "How do we cook?" I'm like, "We don't fry
We don't
it.
fry it.
We do use air fryer." My mother said, "Huh?" I'm like, "We use air fryer. We don't fry anything in my house. I don't eat cakes. I don't eat sweets." Someone will see me and think I just gorge food all the time.
day.
And if you follow me for 24 hours, you will know I don't. I just don't. Some of us are just built in a way that it is extremely difficult. But the blessing about our good doctors, this doctor did not shame me. She didn't say work out harder. She didn't say eat better,
I've got to put my
eat
coffee
cleaner.
down. I've got to put
She
my
did
coffee
not
down
shame
on this.
me.
I have to tell the story, and I have to tell the story to your wonderful listeners. If you are listening to this episode, if you're watching this episode, and you are the kind of person who chooses to assume that people are the way they are because they are lazy or whatever it is,
Yeah.
then you have a big problem.
Yeah.
I remember walking into a dietitian's office, and the first thing she said, and it broke my heart, but it also rebuilt me instantly. "Oh, what happened?" And I was confused, as in, like, am I late or? I used to watch you on Mentor on TV3. You were so small then. Why? What happened? You know, I used to. And she went on for at least 10 minutes. Oh, I used to call my children. Listen, even if I call my daughter now, you know, she'll tell you, I used to look at this lady and say, "Hey, wow, I want to be like her." So what went wrong? Boakyewaa, I was stunned. If I knew what went wrong, I wouldn't seek medical attention because I'm so lost.
Yeah.
I know I'm trying, but I'm looking for answers. That's why I'm sitting in this office. So for you to spend, you know, we women, eh? And then she went down.
Yeah.
And Boakyewaa, I felt so lonely
Yeah.
in that seat.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't even been given an opportunity to even, and you gave me the opportunity to talk about the journey. I hadn't even been nothing. And I said, what a shame.
Yeah. Assumptions.
What
But
a
I
shame.
think also our culture makes it such that people feel very comfortable to speak on others' appearance. Very, very comfortable.
But as I agree, but as somebody, you know, I feel spaces are for vulnerability. Like healthcare.
Like a
in that
doctor's
moment,
office.
Boakyewaa, when you understand what it feels like
Yeah.
to know you are trying, but
Yeah.
not to see that, like, not to see the results.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, society doesn't like big people.
No.
You know,
That's 100%.
Yeah, but society doesn't like big people.
We pretend we kind of do.
When there's
we
a
don't.
couch with 3 seats, Boakyewaa, I'm sitting here, there's 2 over here. The person sitting here thinks to themselves, yeah, but if you come here, then the 3 seats, who else? You know what I mean? We judge. Airlines, judge. Shops, clothing stores, judge. So
And unfortunately, doctors judge. I have
doctors
been
judge.
through so much judgment with some doctors.
It's so lonely
It is.
to be in that state. But then the other side of our dual narrative is it's also so fulfilling to then come into the presence of people
Yes.
who say, sit down, you want a cup of coffee? Let's talk. And that, for me, dealing with Linda Decker, dealing with Abigail Donko, dealing with Nana Mensa, even then having Boakyewaa, who is my accountability partner. I think I wouldn't have been able to go this journey on my own.
And for me, yesterday, I mean, as we mentioned doctors' names, Professor Apalu at Albany Specialist Clinic. Wow. She's one of the first female doctors I've sat in front of, and she did not shame me. And I unfortunately went into it like I had to prove that I'm working so hard. But she barely glanced at the phone, me trying to show her my workouts. I went off the phone to show her my workouts. Yeah. She didn't. She was just like, this isn't where you are based on what I'm saying. This isn't going to work. And that's okay. You just need help. And I was so stunned because I saw a rheumatologist some years ago said, oh, just lose weight. And they won't tell you how. And so she said, you need to lose weight. And I was like, but I'm showing you how I'm trying. She's like, oh no, that's not what I'm referring to. We need to help you. So you now need to go on a GLP-1. And I was so surprised a doctor
had that
actually said
heart
to say, oh, that's not what I'm referring to. Because most doctors will say, go and lose weight. They mean, go and exercise and eat well.
Eat well.
But she had concluded, that's not enough. A doctor. Professor Paulo was like, wait a minute, what just happened? It makes
all the difference. And you know, we're talking about mental health.
Yes.
Tell me what that did to your mind. It gives you a strength you never even knew you had. Like, in that moment,
it makes you feel seen. It makes you feel seen that you don't have to perform or prove any more that you are trying. And that's how the world makes you feel like. Yeah. Prove that you are trying.
Then maybe we give you an opportunity.
But let me ask you something else, right? Mm-hmm. You've been big, you're small. Mm-hmm. How do you react or respond to those who critique when you're big and critique when you're small?
I just say that I have only one person I'm answerable to, and that is myself. And I remember the first time I used this phrase. It was an older person. So you can imagine. Mm-hmm. Hey, what's this? And I was like, what is what? Oh, you're too small. Hey, why are you sick? Boakyewaa. I said, no, I'm on a wellness journey. I said, hey, as for this one, oh, you have to gain small. And I said, Auntie, when I was big, you told me that if I don't lose, I'll die early. Now this, I said, you know what? The only person I'm answerable to is myself. I feel better. I'm able to play games and run with my kids. I can swim when I like. I feel healthier. Now I can wake up, Boakyewaa, without my knees. Girl, I'm just whetting your appetite.
You know what the image that came to my mind? When I'm going down and I'm doing exercises, Anita, it is a process.
Let me whet your appetite.
To go down for yoga or something, it is a process.
It's a journey. The process is not even, it's a journey to get there. But
things people take for granted. Sitting, standing, getting down, getting up.
And sitting for a long time, you're back. Yes. So I pray that this episode, beyond anything, shows more people that we understand them. You know, and I remember having a conversation a few days ago, and, you know, a good friend of mine who is about to start the journey that I started 2 years ago.
Yeah.
She said, hey, sis, Dabeng. And I said, let me tell you something. It's not a day that you get there.
Thank you.
It's a journey that you're on, and you'll be on it for life.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Wellness is a lifestyle.
So you get the help you need, you listen to whomever it is you trust, and you take care of yourself. And of course, you tap into the community. The community, I pray, is formed of people who do not judge, people who understand. And I said, yes, it's true, I'm this size today. And I said, hey, Charlie, one day, ube share me jeans nibi. And we laughed about it. Mm. And that alone is uplifting. And that's all I want to do. That's why I'm so transparent about it.
And I have to say this, I know it seems like I'm just heaping praise on you, but your transparency regarding this is so amazing, because even yesterday, when the doctor said, oh, she'll write a prescription, I'm like, wait, what?
Yes.
And she said, oh, I do that for my clients. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. It makes it seem like people actually do this.
Yes.
They just don't talk about it. And you being a public figure and saying this is what my journey looked like, Anita, that is not a small thing.
Boakyewaa, again, let me reiterate. I've been given a gift.
Yeah.
It's actually an honor
Yeah.
because it's a service.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could have hidden whatever it is and show up and say, oh my gosh, I really work hard, I really exercise, and and people would have believed it.
Yeah.
But would I have been able to sleep at night? I don't think so. Because you see, before I started this, and forgive me, this is me bringing in the God factor.
Yeah.
January 1 or 31st December 2022, going into, I wish I brought my notebook. My first thing is, Father God, allow me to attain a degree of wellness and health that I can be proud of.
Wow.
Send me advocates who can
Wow.
help me. Now, where I am right now, I don't know that I can do it by myself. And indeed, I got it. So it is not, this is my faith. I'm not saying, hey, you have to pray before. No. It's completely
course.
personal.
Of course.
But I think for me, it's important that I use my voice to do this because God knows where I was when he sent me the help. And
Wow.
I simply just want to honor that help want to honor that favor by giving help to others, even if it's just by virtue of sharing information. That's enough.
Wow. And imagine 6 months ago, was it 6 or 7 months ago when you and I met?
Yeah.
And now, some months later, I'm in the same place of this being recommended as
Yeah,
the best approach for me.
And you'll be fine.
I hope the same way Boakyewaa helped you, I can call you.
After Boakyewaa, she's like, sis,
I can call you for
how are you doing today? And I'm like, Boakyewaa, hey, how do you know? I was just about to have a slice of cake. She's like, oh, but I mean, on the lighter side, but you need that.
Yeah.
Watch why you need
You need that, a bit of support.
Yes.
Okay, so now coming to your career, if you're okay for us to move from
course.
the health piece, where are you now in your media empire building career?
Boakyewaa, what a question.
Yes, you are building an
Dun, dun,
empire.
dun, dun, dun. A few major decisions that the building of the empire taught me to make. What can I do now and do well? What has to wait for later? What can I complete now and do well? What has to start tomorrow? And these are questions I had to ask myself because I know that I'm immensely talented. I am terribly passionate.
Oh my God.
I am enormously skilled. But these are not
after my house.
These are not sure ways of achieving success. These three pillars do not guarantee the empire. What guarantees the empire is knowing who I am. I have a very short attention span. So I commit to what I know I can commit to and do it very well. Pack it, and then I move on. I procrastinate a lot. So I make sure that if this particular thing is not truly urgent right now, rather than start it and let it fester or boil or roast or whatever it is, I know now to pack it to when I'm truly ready for it. The fact that I'm a creative also kind of helps because at any given point in time, even that thing that I'd packed, I mean, I could leave this interview today, suddenly be inspired, and then suddenly pick it up. The bottom line is what I have done is I've compartmentalized different aspects of what you call an empire. Okay. Today, my focus is on being in high-level rooms. I love being part of major conversations about socioeconomic development. I like to be at the forefront as a panelist, as a speaker, as a moderator, as somebody who is part of the framing, somebody who's part of the building of frameworks, policies, that sort of thing. That is where my skill set and my interest and my passion have taken me to at this point in time. So when you talk about the other things, like the media work, I have put that aside.
Really?
So that I can focus on this one thing. But, it all kind of, God willing, is leading to, they're all pillars. We're building the same building. It's the same building. Different pillars going up at different times. So hence my travel.
Why socioeconomic angle?
Because when you talk about problems, governments need to prioritize education. Governments need to prioritize healthcare. Women need to da-da-da-da-da. You're just talking about the problems.
Yeah.
Who is acting to bring solutions to the problems? You can't rely only on government or only on, Kwame or Kofi. No. But if I say I have a voice, then I want to be able to use this voice to contribute to the building and the urgencies, highlighting the urgencies. It's my contribution, I suppose, to I guess, God, country, continents, and everything else in between. You know what I mean? And I'm using the same skill that I use in media. It's all communication, reading, writing, listening, whatever it is, to highlight the urgencies, to be part of these conversations, So that, in terms of my career, I think that would be 80% of the work that I do now. In that work also, I do a lot of communications training, which I love. So it's not traditional lights, camera, action at the moment.
What do you mean by communications training? So are you training like media presenters, or are you training like corporate communications strategists? Like what type of uses as a platform to share? What type of communications training?
Training the next generation, the current and next generation, yes, of leaders who need to be able to communicate in the way that the world, their communities,
I love
trust and believe them. And sometimes, again, you've got the skill as a leader, but you don't know how to listen. Where your leadership is based on, oh, you know what, since I became a leader, our numbers have gone A, B, C, and D, but your team is totally afraid of you. Or people don't think that they really want to work in this company because, oh, you drive a hard bargain and they don't see how they're growing. Sometimes it's because of how you communicate with them, how you listen. Not walking into the boardroom on Monday morning and say, okay, so today but walking into a boardroom on Monday morning and say, let's talk about some of the challenges we had last week. Boakyewaa, what challenges did you face last week? Giving Boakyewaa an opportunity to talk about the challenges, and in that, allowing her to say, wow, that's a relief. So that's just an example. So I train corporate leaders, I train entrepreneurs, I train government professionals, anybody and everybody who believes that the art of communicating in their field is crucial to their success. Yeah. I train them.
I like that so much, because my first exposure to what you do, I didn't even realize it was a thing until years ago. I was in this company and this CEO was like networking, smiling, winking, making everyone feel like connected. And I learned later that it's a skill he learned because he's an introvert and he doesn't like social settings. I'm like, you are lying. And then his communication person became one of my closest friends. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I trained him. I'm like, what do you mean you train him? That's not him in his natural. She's like, no. She preps him because this guy will be on stage smiling and he'll wink and he's affable. I'm like, how? You're gonna be kidding me. She's like, no, he hates all of this. I'm like, you are joking. She trains him before like media appearances, before interviews, before town halls. So I'm like, what? Wow. And I loved him as a leader. Yeah.
It makes all
That's
the difference.
What you do? I didn't realize it was a thing.
It's a thing. Well, you know how I learned it's a thing? When I would get on stage.
Yeah.
And I would look into the room. Not at the room, into the room.
Yeah.
And I would feel, these people are so bored. They don't want to be here. But because I'm now on stage, okay, Anita, what can you do? No, you don't want to crack jokes. I mean, they're high level. But you want to start off by getting them to believe in something. So that introduction, that, you're looking right at them, you're doing that, you are animated, is all you need to bring the room to that feeling that, oh, okay, I'm here for a purpose. And it's a skill. It's a skill. So I learned it by going into different rooms and thinking, and sometimes, honestly, not necessarily even being an MC or a moderator, but being in the room as a delegate and thinking to myself, oh, what he's saying is wonderful. But how he's saying it is putting everybody to sleep. The information is there, glaring at you, except he's reading all the bullet points. I mean, that's just one phase of leadership communications.
Yeah.
And then there are people who, and then I remember being in various positions in corporate, having a wonderful time.
Yeah.
But not really liking my boss or my leader. Not because they are not skilled, but because it's like, Charlie.
Yeah.
So I used all of that, not inspiring. And I remember there was one time I left a company and in a conversation with somebody, I don't even know how the words came out of my mouth. I said, so why do you leave? And I said, because if I can't trust the person that is my leader with my goals and my ambitions and my dreams, I can't be around them. I have to hear them trust them, be inspired by them, to know that when they say, oh, Anita, what are your future plans? I can say, oh, I hope to be director in this company, because then your ambition and your dreams, they're in the person's hands.
Yes.
But if I can't trust you,
Yeah.
no, I'm not staying. So yeah,
Wow.
that's how I developed the leadership.
No, I
voice.
love that you're doing that, because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's a very important skill for leaders to have.
Yes.
So what about the show and, all the other being on TV, soaps and all the rest? Is that still something maybe you're not actively pursuing, but if it drops in your lap
Yes,
and Netflix thing comes up?
Listen, Shirley knows my number. And Shirley always says, Anita, I've got a role for you. Sometimes I'm available, sometimes I'm not. But I mean, to be fair, Boakyewaa, let's also use this platform to teach people that sometimes focus is the art of excellence.
Yes, absolutely.
If you are too scattered,
Absolutely.
too everywhere, you are really, truly nowhere.
Absolutely.
And I learned that the hard way, because everything gets half done. Even though some people can indeed do everything simultaneously, I don't know how they do it. I can't.
Yeah.
So again, having to understand my personality type, that I'm the kind of person who can deal with only one thing at a time. In order for me to give it all it deserves, in order for me to give it the excellence, the time, whatever it is it deserves, I had to come to terms with the fact that I could only do one thing excellently. And then when I'm done with that, then I can migrate to the other. So that's the answer. So my productions, my acting, etc. Yep, they come up once in a while, but it, not to sound ungrateful, but I had to ask myself, who are you? Where are you? Where do you want to be? And base my journey on those answers.
Let me ask you this. Would you ever, maybe this will be the declaration, would you ever consider public service? MP, minister, presidential candidate? Your voice, your power, your impact, Anita, would you ever consider it?
Wow, Boakyewaa, did you have to do this? he's like, I've been talking for an hour, suddenly I don't have an answer. I don't know. I think the true sister to sister, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
I think
know.
that's an honest answer.
I do know that I love working with, people in the public service. I love working on national projects.
Yeah.
I mean, I love supporting presidents and prime ministers, kings and queens. But I don't know that I would consider being in those seats. I don't know.
I'll ask you in 10 years. Okay, so as we're winding down, you did mention you have kids and all of that.
Yeah.
How's the family life like? Are you married? How many kids?
Yes. My husband, Regis.
Okay.
My children, Marley and Nesta.
Marley.
Marley.
I like that.
Well,
and
girl, Marley and Nesta.
Are those really, like, I think, okay.
Bob Marley,
Bob
yes,
Marley,
but there will not be a Bob. And every time I meet old friends, they're like, hey, so Bob no day. I like, hey, no Bob. The guys in the studio are laughing. Boakyewaa, if I'm here today, see all this talking and on stage and looking, if I'm here today, the way I am, is because of these three people.
Oh.
I'm telling you. And
family is everything.
Boakyewaa. I mean, of course, mommy, I love you. And my siblings, I love you all. But I have to say that nuclear family, my husband, my two children, I mean, we have had our ups and downs. We have. We've had the moments of course, what are we doing? But we've also had a moment of holding our hands. I mean, the four of us holding our hands, crossing them.
Oh.
Now, my children are my inspiration. Listen, if there's anything I do, it's because of my kids. My son, Nesta would, we're driving and like, mommy, but why don't you do this kind of thing? My daughter would say, mommy, this thing that you're doing, it doesn't suit you. My husband would say, okay, fine. What's the plan? Where do you need me to be? I said something yesterday in an interview, and I said, please don't call me a superwoman. And I even said it to you here. Please don't call me a superwoman, because if you want to know why and how I'm successful, these three individuals I've mentioned, plus my engine room, Boakyewaa, I've got people in different corners of my engine room. I'm just what
That's amazing.
I'm just, you see me.
That's amazing.
My engine room. And the leaders of those, the leaders in the engine room are these people, my husband and my 2 kids. They're like,
I love that.
yeah.
I know. My son is my everything too. I love that.
Mom.
Okay, what would you say? I know this is a cliche question, but unfortunately, I'm going to ask the cliche question, which is, what is the one thing you would want to leave with anyone watching, but especially women?
Weakness is okay.
Oh,
Boakyewaa.
girl.
Weakness, eh?
I love that.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I get weak sometimes. I
Yeah.
have been weak.
Yeah.
But what is not okay is allowing the weakness to take over your entire life.
Yeah.
So when you are weak, call the person that you believe will not judge you. The wisdom, the power doesn't always have to be in your head or in your... You don't have to always be the most powerful person in the room.
I love that.
Be weak.
I love that.
Don't give yourself pressure because today is not a good day, or today I'm facing a trigger, or whatever it is today. No, if you are going through that, listen. Know that this thing that we call flesh, Boakyewaa, what is it? This thing that we call flesh, it is so vulnerable. Sometimes you dress up, you're ready, whatever. Sometimes all it is seeing something that triggers you to become angry, whatever. Sometimes you apply for a job, you don't get in. So listen, I could go on and on and on and on. In those moments of weakness, understand that it is a natural reaction.
Yeah.
And then get help.
Yeah.
Asking for help, me. In fact, let me end by saying my true superpower is learning how
to ask for help.
Ask for help. It's being able to ask for, not even learning, we've learned. Being able.
Yeah.
I'm not shy.
Yeah.
Boakyewaa, I am not shy.
I'm now learning.
I am not shy.
I'm not learning.
Asking for help, I have learned that you are already facing a no when you are not asking. Already, the bottom, the floor is no. For you to then raise yourself up and get yourself to a yes or even a maybe, you have to ask. So you're afraid the person will judge you? Then it's the person's problem.
Yeah.
Me, I'll ask you. If you judge me, what a shame. That's your problem. So anyway, weakness is okay. But what is not okay is allowing that weakness to take over your life and giving up. Seek the help you need from people you trust, and you'll be fine. I
know I said speak to those who are watching, but I felt that in my own soul. So I feel like, that was for me too.
For all of us.
It was for all of us. Anita, thank you so much. I know we've been working towards this episode for such a long time, but I'm so happy.
Do I have a minute to say something to you?
Yes, go ahead, my love.
Guys. You see, Boakyewaa has this show and she'll bring us on and she'll talk to us about, she'll ask us questions or whatever. But this woman right here.
Oh my gosh.
One of the most powerful, prolific, extraordinary women I know. And you see, an extraordinary woman doesn't necessarily have to be somebody you speak to every day. In fact, I don't even need to speak to Boakyewaa every year. But do you know how I know your power? Again, because imagine we hadn't spoken in a long time. And in that however minutes, hour, whatever it is we spend, you're talking about how you felt. But you see, what you did for me is you helped me realign with my calling of relying on someone by giving someone my shoulder. Prior to, of course, that conversation, Boakyewaa, do you know, I used to read your books religiously. And I remember one time somebody said, you're looking for a Ghanaian author. And of course, naturally, we mentioned the good old, Amai to Edu Fine. And I said, do you know Boakyewaa Glover? I'm like, no. So I recommended one of your books. She read it, she came back and she's like, is she like in Ghana? Is she like? And I said, yep. And she's a friend of mine. But listen, I digress. You are extraordinary. And this thing that you're doing, being so open, it's a huge responsibility. and you carry it very, 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 very well. Very, very well. I mean, I couldn't do what you
Anita.
well done.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for joining the iconic Anita and myself for this lovely conversation. I felt so inspired listening to her. I hope you did the same. This is the Boakyewaa Glover Show, and I will see you on the next episode. Please don't forget to subscribe and to share. Thank you.